Let me call upon stage Nitin Soni.
Louder, louder, louder. Come on, louder.
दोस्तों, सक्सेस इन एनी फील्ड इज 70% साइकोलॉजी एंड 30% मैकेनिक्स. किसी भी फील्ड में, इन whatever field you choose, success is all about 70% psychology and 30% mechanics.
मैं आपसे पूछना चाहता हूं, विराट कोहली ने सेंचुरी मारी थी क्या डेब्यू? अच्छा, सचिन तेंदुलकर ने मारी? अच्छा, धोनी ने मारी? But all of these three individuals are legends. In spite of the fact that they did not score century on debut. Even if you are not able to score century on debut, you can still become a legend if you take few things right. Understand this.
Why do you want to become what you want to become? Why do you want to get that success? Why do you want to get that degree? Why do you want to become a rank holder? Why do you want it? Answer your why.
They are compromising on their potential. You have amazing potential in you. Why do you want to restrict it? You're not supposed to restrict your potential. Warren Buffett has 97 different streams of income. 97. And the day I realized, the day I noticed it, I said 97. What the hell?
What is the difference? The difference is in their psychology. That's where the entire difference lies. That's the main thing. You need to understand your psychology, your mindset. Usme kya chal raha hai? That's what you need to focus.
Excellent. And I knew I would be the top scorer in the institute. And that's exactly what I did. Each and every paper that I gave, when I came back home, I said, I'm ready for the next one. And I did that. Ready for the next one. Did that. Then I waited for my results. And on the results day, what did happen? I failed. What is it that I can do now? At the best I can study. At the best I can put in the hard work. At the best I can do whatever is possible for me to do. What else can I do?
He actually looked at the big portrait of Mount Everest and he said, Mount Everest, I know you are failing me. But the more and more you fail me, the more and more I'm getting determined that one day I'm going to stand on top of you. Do you know why, Sir Edmund Hillary said? He said, do you know why? Because you, even as Mount Everest, cannot grow any further. But I, as a human being, will keep growing. That's my message to you. Keep growing. No matter what Mount Everest you want to climb in your life, you can. If you have the right mindset and if you do not let your fingers enter your mind, why? Because it's your responsibility, friends. It's your responsibility. Nobody else is going to work hard for you. Nobody else is going to bring your dream in a silver plate and say, hey, here is your dream, enjoy. No, that's never going to happen. You will have to work hard. You will have to put in the hard work. You will have to burn the midnight oil. You will have to make your dream come true. The responsibility is yours. I cannot do your push-ups for you, can I? Can I? Of course not. You will have to do your push-ups.
What do? You notice that you are not the only one who is watching that dream. You are not the only one having that dream inside you. When there are 1,000 other mothers who are having the same dream for their sons, what do you do to make the dream of your mother come true? You outwork your competition. You outwork your competition. You get up early. You work harder. You stay longer. You do whatever it takes. You got to overwork. You got to outwork. You got to outsmart everybody else. Because if you don't do it, someone else is going to do it. If you don't do it, someone else is going to do it. If you are not getting up early, someone else is getting up early. And he is going to grab your position. He's going to grab your position. Understand this. You got to outwork your competition. If it means doing anything that you have not done till date, you should be interested in doing it. Learning techniques, learning facts, programming your subconscious, whatever it may be. Be ready to outwork your competition.
My intensity multiplied. My hunger multiplied. My seriousness multiplied. I prepared like hell. I was actually doing things that nobody around me was doing. I was studying for 12 hours a day and I said, no matter what happens on the results day, I'm going to give my best shot in this again. I studied like anything. And I did all those test papers, working, studying over and over and over again. I revised over and over and over again. And I gave my exams to the best of my ability. On all the results, the screen said, pass.
Unless and until you answer your whys, you will not be able to remain motivated. You need motivation? Answer your whys. Answer your whys. Why do you want to do what you want to do? Is it because of your father? You want to make your father's dream come true? Is it because of your mother? Your mother is looking a dream for you and you want to make her dream come true? Is it because of your siblings, your brother, your sister, your other family members? Or is it probably because yourself? You say, I want to become rich because I want to prove to the world that I am a rich person and I'm not a poor person. You got to answer your whys. Why do you want to become what you want to become? Answer your whys. Because this is exactly where motivation lies. What are you waiting for? Whatever it takes. Even if it takes for you to learn something, learn it. If it takes for you to work hard, work hard. If it takes for you to get up early in the morning, get up early in the morning. If it takes for you to work day in and day out, do it. He was a world heavyweight champion in boxing, Mike Tyson. डरते थे लोग उसके नाम से. और Mike Tyson won 37 fights back to back. अपनी लाइफ की पहली फाइट से लेकर 37 फाइट्स तक माइक टाइसन हर एक फाइट जीतता गया. एक भी फाइट वो नहीं हारा. और पीपल यूज्ड टू स्वेट बाय हिज नेम. करते थे लोग उसके नाम से. 37 फाइट लगातार जीतना इज नो गेम. एंड ही वाज द वर्ल्ड हेवीवेट चैंपियन. 37 फाइट लगातार जीतने के बाद जो 38वीं फाइट उसकी थी वो थी अगेंस्ट जेम्स बस्टिन डगलस. और ये जेम्स बस्टिन डगलस कौन था? कुछ भी नहीं. अ नॉर्मल बॉक्सर, वेरी नॉर्मल बॉक्सर. कभी भी अपनी लाइफ के अंदर हेवीवेट चैंपियन नहीं बना. कभी भी उसने कोई बहुत बड़ी चैंपियनशिप नहीं जीती. वेरी नॉर्मल बॉक्सर. 38th मैच माइक टाइसन का अगेंस्ट जेम्स बस्टिन डगलस. It was a one-sided match. They said Mike Tyson is going to win anyways. सारा मीडिया हैरान, सारी दुनिया हैरान. Mike Tyson lost the match. 38th fight, Mike Tyson lost it. How come? ये कैसे हो सकता है? सारा का सारा मीडिया पागलों की तरह जेम्स बस्टिन डगलस के पीछे. बस्टिन डगलस, ये तुमने किया कैसे? How did it? You just won against Mike Tyson. Impossible. How could you do the impossible? ये किया कैसे तुमने? He said, before this match, my mother declared to the world that her son is going to beat Mike Tyson. She declared it to the world, to the relatives, to the friends, everybody, and she was extremely happy. और जेम्स बस्टिन डगलस ने कहा, माँ क्या कर रहे हो? Why are you doing that? I'm not too sure. She said, you are not sure. I am sure because I believe in my son. My son is going to beat the hell out of Mike Tyson, and my son is going to win. He said, it was my mother's dream that I beat Mike Tyson. It was my mother's dream that I become the world champion. It was my mother's dream that I become a true champion in my life by beating Mike Tyson, and not just Mike Tyson, whoever it may be. And my mother died 2 weeks before this match. He said, my mother died 2 weeks before this match. And I wanted to make her dream come true. He said, I wanted to make her dream come true. Mike Tyson के अलावा अगर वहां पर 100 Mike Tyson भी होते, उसके बावजूद मैं ये मैच जीतता. Because it was my mother's dream and I wanted to fulfill my mother's dream.
ये सोचता है कि मैं स्पेशल नहीं हूं. अगर यहाँ एक भी सोचता है कि मैं वर्दी नहीं हूं, मेरी रिक्वेस्ट है उससे कि आज की शाम अपने पेरेंट्स के साथ बिता लेना. आज की शाम तन्हाई में अपने पेरेंट्स के साथ बिता लेना और आपकी माँ, आपके पिताजी आपको बताएंगे कि आप कितने स्पेशल हो. There is nobody in the entire world who has a fingerprint like you.
Luck, नसीब. कई मैं से देखता हूं जो अपने नसीब को पकड़ के बैठते हैं, जो ये कहते हैं कि it's only and only because of my luck. If I'm failing, it's only because of my luck. नसीब की वजह से आपकी जिंदगी में कुछ नहीं होता. तो अगर दो तरह के लोग हैं, बिलीव करते हैं नसीब, कुछ बिलीव नहीं करते नसीब के ऊपर. आप मुझे एक बात बताओ, अगर आपके नसीब की वजह से ही सब कुछ होता है, अगर आपके लक की वजह से ही सब कुछ ये हो रहा है, तो मेहनत क्यों कर रहे हो? मेहनत करने की क्या जरूरत है? और अगर नसीब में नहीं लिखा तो मेहनत करके क्या उखाड़ लोगे? क्या उखाड़ लोगे? नसीब को लेकर के मत बैठो. जब आप अपने नसीब को देख करके कहते हो कि भाई कभी ना कभी तो चमकेगा, आपका नसीब आपको देख करके कहता है कभी तो समझेगा. आप नहीं समझते.
You command respect, power, recognition, social status, everything. It has amazing power. I am the king of the jungle now. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy.
I am sure all of you could relate to it. I'm sure all of you could relate to it, understand it.
what I just said? Yes or no? Friends, give me a quick confirmation in the chat box if I'm visible, if I'm audible. I want to get a quick confirmation from all of you. Welcome to yet another day, day 21 of the Superpower Success Summit. Art of Healthy Lifestyle. Here is my question for all of you. The question is, are you living a healthy lifestyle? Is your lifestyle healthy or unhealthy? Here is a question for you, and let me know. Let me know, everybody in the chat box. When you look at your life, when you look at your day, when you look at your choices, when you look at the number of hours you sleep, when you look at the number of the glasses, the water that you drink, how many glasses you drink every day, when you look at the food that you eat, when you look at the time that you spend on smartphones and all of that, your choices, your habits, your lifestyle. Here is my question for you. Do you choose to walk on stairs or use escalator? Do you walk or you straight away pick up your bike, your scooty, or your car? Here is my question for you. The question is, how's your lifestyle? Is it healthy? Is it unhealthy? Or is it somewhere in between? And that is what today's session is all about. दोस्तों, आज का ये session is about healthy lifestyle. I'm excited for today's session because, see, the bottom line is, इससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि आप क्या करना चाहते हो. आप जो भी करना चाहते हो लाइफ में तभी कर पाओगे जब आप हेल्दी हो. और हेल्दी होना सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक momentary, it's not something, let me be in a healthy state for about 6 months. In the next 6 months, I'll gain 6-pack abs and then bang on. The moment I achieve it, I get my photo shoot done, and then with it, I drop the idea and I come back to my old routine lifestyle. A lot of people do that. Yes or no? A lot of people lose weight to only gain weight at the end of it all. A lot of people start their morning walk and a lot of people start hit gym. A lot of people quit eating a lot of stuff. But eventually what happens? Only for a few months, only for a limited time. We're talking about lifestyle. We're talking about your entire lifestyle. You make a lifestyle shift. And if you understand, if you make this lifestyle shift, you lead a healthy life. और दोस्तों, हेल्थ मैं पहले भी कह चुका हूं हमारी समिट में, मैं आज फिर ये कहना चाहता हूं कि हेल्दी लाइफस्टाइल से आपकी हैबिट में आ जाएगा, आपके रूटीन में आ जाएगा to stay healthy. And that is what this session is all about today. I have an expert who will be speaking on this topic. I'm excited to introduce this man because he's a living example of what we're going to be discussing here today. Now, I want to invite this expert who's been working in this domain, helping a lot of people lead and live a healthy lifestyle. As I said, this man is a living example of what he's going to be teaching. Friends, with your permission, I want to invite on screen none other than Vishwas. There you go. Vishwas, can I have you on screen? There you go. Fantastic. Vishwas, welcome. Welcome to the Superpower Success Summit. And thank you very much for accepting the invitation to be here.
Hello. Good evening, Nitin sir. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for having me here.
Great, Vishwas. It's a pleasure to have you here. I'm excited for this session because this is indeed one of my favorite topic, which is healthy lifestyle. बात सिर्फ ये नहीं है कि 2 महीना जिम गए और बॉडी बनाई, बात है healthy lifestyle की, right, Vishwas? Vishwas, I'm not sure if you're keeping an eye on the summit, man, but here's a question for you. What's your take on this 30-day summit, this initiative that we have taken to invite speakers like you live for 30 days? We are on day 21. I wish I could, have you there on the day 1 or 2, but we have a lot of speakers sharing their insights. What's your take on the Superpower Success Summit, Vishwas?
Yeah, you know what? When I was a child, I had a dream, and that dream was to grow up and become a watchman in a library. You know why? Because there's so many interesting things in the world, and you can find out so many interesting things from books. And I wanted to spend my entire life doing that. And unfortunately, the sad reality is we can't do that, But in a summit like this, you have people who are spending so much time, energy, passion, learning about so many different topics. And they are selflessly coming together to share with the general public. And we have access to this. And that is, for me, the biggest thing about this. So I'm really happy and excited to, first of all, that such a thing is happening. And you guys are working hard to put together this. And so many speakers in the last few days and also for the next several days, they are taking their time and energy to share this. This is the biggest thing for me.
It indeed is, Vishwas. Thanks to speakers like you who have accepted our invitations to be here with no expectations of getting anything in return and doing this entire summit, just like speakers like you for free, which is absolutely incredible. We are able to do it because of people like you, and I want to thank you for being a part of this summit. Vishwas, the art of healthy lifestyle. I know you for quite some time, and I know how close this topic to you. I am just keen to know, why should people be interested in this topic, the art of healthy lifestyle? What's in it for them? How it can help them, Vishwas? I would like to hear it from you.
Sure. So, you, me, anybody, right? It doesn't matter, male, female, young, old, student, professional, retired, anybody. We want to live long, right? We want to have energy for the things that we want to do and for the things that we have to do. And sometimes that the things that we are forced to do. We want to have energy and we don't want to deal with pain. And we want to have the ability to rely on our body and on our mind to do all these things, right? So but I feel there is some lack of structured information. How can we reach that goal? If this is my end goal in my journey of health or fitness, how can I get there? What are the components that I should take care of to get there? There is some lack of information about this. This is what I feel. This is one thing. The second thing is that we can't really outsource our health, right? So I have to work on my own body. I can't pay somebody to do it for me. And the third thing is that it takes time, right? We can't, this is not Amazon Prime guaranteed 30-minute delivery. It won't happen. So it's better to start sooner rather than later.
I like the way you put it, man. You can't outsource your health, can you? Hey, I'm going to pay you, do something so that I stay healthy. Nobody else can do your push-ups for you, is something that I said in the video as well. And I really
Exactly.
like when he gave this prime example. Vishwas, I'm all excited to hear you, man. The stage is all yours. Please take the audience through your ideas in the art of healthy lifestyle session. Over to you, Vishwas.
Sure. Thank you very much for that very nice introduction. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for taking your time to be with me today. So I'm going to share all about what I think a healthy lifestyle is all about. But let me give you an introduction why I got started in this. It will help set the context of where this information is coming from, right? So I'm 39 and a half years old, and I am an athlete by passion. By profession, I'm an engineer by profession and training. But the thing is that I was not always an athlete. In fact, throughout my childhood, I was more interested in books than anything else. And really, I never even thought about it, never entered my mind that I want to live long or I want to be healthy or I want to be pain free. कब मुझे ये सोच मन में आया जब मैं फादर बन गया. So 8 years back, I had my daughter. And when she was born, it entered my head. I want to live long, see her grow up, and I want to see her kids. ओके एंड वैसे मैं इंजीनियर हूँ तो मुझे वो प्रश्न आया how can I do this, right? And I realized that I didn't have an answer. I didn't know how I can do that. So whatever I just said, that people want to live long, we don't want to have pain, and we want to have energy. So this is exactly what went through my mind, but I didn't know how to get there. So I started thinking a lot about this. I started researching a lot about this. I started meeting a lot of people, talking to a lot of people, trying various things. And what I'd like to share with you is my experience and thoughts from that journey, which began when I became a father 8 years back. And I hope that it is useful for you, right? So this is how I started. So the human body is a really complex machine. Human body and mind, they are some of the most complicated things in the world. A couple of weeks back, I bought this egg boiler on Amazon. You know, I am actually an electronics engineer by training. So जब मैं इस egg boiler को देखता हूँ तो मुझे समझ में आता है ये बहुत simple चीज है. इसमें कुछ नहीं है, एक सेंसर है, एक हीटर है. You have to measure some water based on how many eggs you want to boil. You put the water, you turn on the heater, sensor senses, जब पानी खत्म हो जाए तो खुद off हो जाए, and then your eggs are ready, right? And that's all it is. There's nothing else. But the instruction manual for this simple device is 8 pages long. Okay, and there is no instruction manual for such a complicated machine as a human body or as a human mind. And the topic is very complicated. And as I said, we can't really rely on somebody else to take care of these things for us. That means we have to take responsibility. हमारी खुद की जिम्मेदारी है खुद की देखभाल करने का. Many people actually do not pay attention to this question unless something goes wrong, and then usually it's too late, right? It becomes financially very difficult situation when health goes bad. I'm not talking here about the things which are outside our control. Some accident or unforeseen circumstance we can't control, but we can control our lifestyle. So let's try to control it, right? The other thing is, as I said, I got interested in this topic when I became a father. And one thing about children is that they will not do what we ask them to do. They may or may not do what we do, right? So at least for me, I want to set an example for my kids. Guys, I'm trying to take care of myself, and I hope that you take away the lesson from this, that you guys should take care of yourself as well, right? And that is the beginning of this whole journey. And I became interested in this question: how can we build an instruction manual for our body, right? And since that time, I started getting deep into this question. And if you think about it, if you talk to people around you, whenever the topic of health comes up, people might say something like, oh yeah, my lifestyle is mostly healthy, but I know I should exercise more. And somebody might say, yes, I know that I eat a lot of junk food, I should eat less, etc. And somebody might say, no, I'm good at exercise, I'm good at everything, but my job is very stressful. Some people might say this or that. But one of the things to understand why we have this word lifestyle here is, this human body being a complicated machine, every little thing impacts everything else, right? And therefore we need to have an overview, at least some basic knowledge of what are all the broad things that we need to take care of. Because it's like, if you have a car and you're driving it and one wheel gets punctured, you can no longer drive the car. And when it comes to health and wellness, it is like that. We need to take care that there is not even one punctured wheel. So first of all, we should know where the wheels are, right? So that is one of the things that we'd like to talk about here. The second thing is, when we think about our health and wellness efforts, whatever we do, जो भी हम करते हैं, so actually, this is a very complex topic, and it can be that there is not only one correct answer. Things are not black and white. हम कह नहीं सकते कि ये सही है और ये गलत है. किसी एक इंडिविजुअल को ये ठीक लगता है और किसी दूसरे इंडिविजुअल को वो शायद गलत हो सकता है. ये सब हो सकता है. That is why we need to learn about it so that we can understand for us what makes sense. How do I find out where my problems are? How do I find an opportunity to improve my own health by myself? Since there are 7 billion people in the world, any research, etc., will be based on what is applicable for the majority only. But which of that part is applicable for us or for me as an individual, I have to find out, right? So we need to learn about all these different aspects. So, yeah. So when we think about the lifestyle, what are different components of a lifestyle? I would like to share one story with you. In one of the world wars, I believe it was I might be getting it wrong. I think it was the English Air Force. They were doing some review of their military strategy. These guys, they were analyzing the aircraft which were returning. They went out to fight and they came back. And they were analyzing the damage patterns on these aircraft, right? And they started seeing that, okay, most of the times the bullet holes on the airplanes were on certain places. And they said, okay, this many percentage of the bullet holes are on this part of the aircraft, so many percent on that part, and so on. And somebody said, logically, we should strengthen those parts of the aircraft. Then somebody started thinking, is this really the right approach? We are only looking at the aircraft which came back. and the pilots stayed alive and they brought the aircraft back. But there are so many aircraft which never returned. What were the things that destroyed those aircraft? So that is the stuff we really need to focus on. So in the same way, when it comes to our health and wellness, we have some knowledge about what we need to do, and we have some blind spots as well. It can be that some things that we are doing are such big mistakes that they are really causing a big problem in our lifestyle. And some things we are doing fairly well, like medium well. Some things we are doing pretty well. Like some people have very good eating habits, but maybe very bad sleeping habits. For some other people, it can be converse, and so on. Therefore, let's try to understand what are all different areas which contribute to our health and wellness overall. And these are all really linked. And anything which is going seriously wrong in one area will really hamper our efforts to improve ourselves in any area. And so the major categories to think about, these are, first of all, our sleeping habits. Then it's our nutrition habits. So our habits of eating and drinking water, our habits of movement and exercise, our habits of breathing, our habits of coping with stress, mental relaxation or dealing with mental and emotional issues. So all of these things. So these are some broad categories. I'm not saying that this is an exhaustive list, but I'm saying that these are some of the most important and biggest areas which are applicable to most of the people here today, right? Let's try to look at them one by one in order. And before that, I would like to say, when we try to analyze any topic, right, we can try to think about it in a few different ways. इस टॉपिक के बारे में जो मैं ऑलरेडी कर रहा हूं, जो मुझे ज्यादा करना है, ये पहला कैटेगरी है. और दूसरा कैटेगरी ये है कि जो मैं गलत कर रहा हूं वो मुझे, आई हैव टू स्टॉप दैट, आई हैव टू स्टॉप मेकिंग अ मिस्टेक, right? That's the second category. And the third category is something that we know we need to do, but for some reason we are not able to do it. So this is not a knowledge problem, but this is an execution problem. So all the knowledge in the world will not help us unless we translate it into action, right? So that is why the first two categories are about knowledge. It is about addressing our blind spots. So what are the things which I am already doing, which I need to do more of, or which I need to do better? This is some technical knowledge. ये relatively easy है सीखने के लिए. I will also give some pointers to the biggest things, but it is relatively easy to learn this. Then second thing is about the blind spots. What am I doing which I don't even know is wrong, right? And the third thing is, what am I doing wrong or not doing, which I know I need to correct, but for some reason I'm not able to. So this is about behavior. So when we talk about health and fitness, usually people talk about technical topics like exercise, food, and so on. I would like to start from the other thing, which is the attitude and the behavior changes. And the reason for this is, we may already be knowing something, but we are not getting a benefit from it because we are not able to translate it into action. So I would like to start there. So the first thing I would like to say really is, let us have some reason why we are trying to work on this, right? I shared my story of how I got started in health and fitness because I want to stay a healthy dad for my children, and I want to set a good example for my children. And that's a very emotional place to come from, right? And why this emotion is important, because हर journey में कोई difficulty, कोई obstacle आता ही है. And when the difficulty arises, we need to be able to deal with it, and we need to have the energy to deal with that obstacle. And that will come by emotion. It will not come by cold reason. So I'd suggest to you all, find your emotional reason. Why do you want to get healthier? And what exactly you want to achieve, right? So once we have that emotional reason, let us try to identify what are the obstacles which are stopping us. शायद कोई व्यक्ति को कंट्रोल नहीं होता जंक फूड खाने से, ओके? शायद किसी व्यक्ति को एक्सरसाइज करने का मन नहीं आता. So what stops one individual is not the same which stops another individual. If we know what our weakness is, we can come up with a plan to address it. So let's try to understand what is stopping us. That's the second step, right? And the third step, it's really to have a plan. What is this plan? Let us not make a 30-day plan, 60-day plan, 5-year plan, okay? Because so many things can change. I am asking you to make a 30-second plan. So once you know that you have an objection, you have an uh, complication. So for example, I like to eat junk food. I like to sit late at night. I want to eat junk food while watching Netflix. For me, that is personally a weakness. Now I know that that is my weakness. So what I'm going to do is I'll make a 60-second plan, which is when my mind says, boss, turn on the Netflix, bring the peanuts, bring the alcohol, whatever it is, right? I'm going to spend 60 minutes, 60 seconds just waiting. I will not bring the peanuts for 60 seconds. After that, if I want, I can still bring it. So can you control yourself for 30 seconds or 60 seconds? If you can do that, then you're golden. This is what I have found works for me. This I call this strategy as a micro habit, right? Same thing. When my mind says I don't feel like exercising, I don't force myself to exercise. I just tell myself, okay, you don't need to exercise. You just need to change into your gym clothes. You just need to put on your shoes. After that, उसके बाद देखते हैं. पहले जिम क्लोथ्स पहनो, शूज पहनो, उसके बाद चाहे तो छोड़ दो. Okay, when we do this, most of the time I have found that I am able to finish my workout. Okay, it's just we have to find a way to bring down the resistance of our brain and make our brain cooperate with us, right? This is a behavior hack. So this is the biggest thing which I would like to share from a behavior change kind of perspective, right? So having said that, let me move on to some technical things. So I was saying that we need to take care of sleep, food, movement, breath, and stress, right? Let's go one by one. Start with sleep. Let's think about it. On average, people sleep 8 hours a day. In one day, there are 24 hours. So this means if I sleep 8 hours out of 24, I'm actually spending 1/3 of my entire life sleeping, isn't it? So if my sleep habits are wrong, it's going to make a huge difference to the quality of my life. So it's very important to get this right. So what is really the importance of sleep, right? So if you think about it from physiology perspective, our body deals with certain things every day, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, week by week, month by month. Some of those things help our body to get better. Some of those things are challenging to our body in terms of survival. And it is the job of our body to cope with all this and to deal with this stress of simply surviving. And it deals with this stress by making repairs while sleeping only. Sleeping is the biggest way to deal with stress. And there is really, we cannot take a pill to deal with sleep. We can't shrink the 8 hours into 6 hours. Why can't we shrink 8 hours into 6 hours? For this, we need to understand a little bit of sleep science. The sleep which happens at the beginning of the night is not the same as the sleep which happens at the end of the night or close to the early morning. So in the body, different processes are happening at different times. And if this process cannot be broken, so sleep happens in a cycle. So there is an 80 or 90-minute cycle, and there is 4 or 5 such cycles required every night for the entire sleep to be considered complete. How do you know if you are sleeping enough? There are a few simple tests. First of all, if you can't wake up without an alarm, hey, you're not getting enough sleep. Let's say you're waking up because of habit or whatever, but as soon as you wake up, you're like, without a coffee I can't start. You don't have enough sleep, right? Or let us say you wake up and you don't need the coffee, but people all around you are saying, hey man, why is your mood so bad today? Why are you so irritable? If your mood is not good, it means your sleep is not enough. It's a big indication, right? So first of all, do not compromise on the number of hours of sleep. This is one thing. How can we make the quality of our sleep better? The biggest thing is, do not interrupt the night sleep. A few more practical hints. It's not only our eyes, but the skin on the entire body can sense the presence of light. And the thing is that light makes our body wake up and alert. So do not keep any kind of light in your bedroom. Okay, and cover your eyes with an eye mask. And it is the same thing with sound. Whenever there is a sound, your brain gets active and it's like, what's going on? I need to be alert. So we don't want that. Put earplugs if necessary. Keep your bedroom quiet and dark, and keep it cool. Ideally, 18 to 20 degrees centigrade is a good temperature. But remember, in general, that cooler weather or cooler temperatures are better for good sleep quality, right? One more thing, let us try to avoid any kind of stimulants like tea, coffee, smoking, 5 to 6 hours before bedtime. These all things will really drastically improve the quality of our sleep. Let me move on to the next one, which is about the nutrition. So when it comes to nutrition, so I started the sleep topic by saying it is very important because we are spending 1/3 of our life sleeping. If you look at the average number of times that we are eating, most people eat, let us say, 3 times or more in a day, right? So this is the next thing which has a very big opportunity to impact the quality of our life. And so let us try to understand it. What is important in nutrition? There are various factors. First of all, what we consume, how much we consume, when we consume it. All these things are important. As for what we are consuming, food is mainly made up of certain main food groups. We call them as proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. So sometimes you will see in the literature that, you might see in the grocery store, if you try to pick up something, it says low fat, no salt, etc. And that all gives a message like certain things are bad. Actually, it is not so. Our body requires all three: protein, fat, and carbohydrate. So if we are deficient in any of them, it can be a problem. However, deficiency in protein is one of the most significant ones. Why is this so? The reason for this is because our body is capable of storing fat and carbohydrate, but it is not capable of storing protein. Therefore, we need to consume protein with every time we have a meal, have a little bit of protein. Make sure there is some protein with that. What is so I was saying that we cannot store protein, so we need to consume it with every meal. There is another advantage to consuming protein. Whenever we consume carbohydrate, insulin is produced in our body, and when too much insulin is produced over a period of time, this can lead to diabetic conditions. We know that diabetes is a lifestyle disease, so we want to forestall that. When we consume protein, it moderates this effect, and we don't need that much insulin to deal with the carbohydrate in our body if we consume protein along with the carbohydrate. So a practical tip I would like to give you is make sure to eat your protein first in the meal. There is another advantage to consuming your protein. It is satisfying. So have you ever had the feeling where you've eaten fruit when you're hungry? After 20 minutes, you're hungry again. And the reason for this is that fruit is basically carbohydrate and it is digested very quickly. Protein is not digested quickly, which means you will not feel hungry for some time, right? So you will have energy for a longer time because the digestion process takes longer. So this is one of the biggest things that I can say regarding nutrition. Make sure that we consume protein with every meal. Most of the people, not only in India, but all over the world, are deficient in protein consumption. What is a good amount of protein to consume? We can calculate based on our body weight. Let us say I'm 70 kilos in body weight. I should be aiming for about 1.5 to 2 grams of protein per day per kilogram of body weight. So that is 70 kilos into 1.5 is about 105 grams. So that I will split into 3 meals: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So it is something like I will have 30 to 35 grams of protein with every meal: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's a good rule of thumb. Like I said, there is a lot of individual variation. So what I'm telling is a generality only. We will have to adjust for individuals. The second biggest thing which I want to tell about nutrition is our body is made up of about 50%. Half of our body is made up of water. If you measure, now I said I'm 70 kilos in weight, about 35 kilos of that is simply water. If that 35 kilos becomes 30 kilos, if I get dehydrated by 5 kilos, then I am in mortal danger. It is extremely important to take care of hydration. Make sure that you consume at least 2.5 liters of water every day. These are the two biggest things. Make sure to keep sipping water throughout the day. You can count the number of bottles you have consumed. If you have a 1 liter bottle, make sure you have consumed 2.5, at least 2.5 to 3 in a day. That's a very good way to take care of your nutrition journey. The third thing I would like to talk about is the exercise topic, right? So when it comes to exercise, there is a lot of confusion because there's a lot of options. It's like a menu with so many things on it. So some people are doing cycling, some people are doing running, some people do yoga, some people do dance, Zumba, some people are lifting weights, some people are doing some other things, right? Maybe playing sports, playing badminton, playing volleyball, cricket, etc., etc. And depending on the type of person I am, a different thing could attract me. Now, one thing which I want to tell is that the human body is capable of expressing so many different qualities. uh, Stamina, for example, stamina is a quality, a physical quality, which some people have more of and some people have less of. Strength is another example of a quality which some people have more of and some people less. Mobility is all about how well we can move our joints. So if I look at my shoulder is supposed to be able to move in so many different directions, right? So how well can I move my shoulder? That is about mobility, right? So strength, stamina, and mobility, these are the three biggest categories we should be thinking about. Let us not think about running, cycling, weights, yoga, dance, etc. We should think about, am I getting enough strength in my exercise program? Am I getting enough stamina? Am I getting enough mobility? Why are these three categories important? First of all, let's talk about mobility. If I lose mobility in my shoulder, I am going to develop pains. So I mentioned to you, I'm an engineer. I work at a desk, at a laptop. That is my job. So many people, India is an IT country. There's a lot of IT work happening in India. There are many, many people who have lots of pains with their shoulders, with their back, with their hips, etc. And these are all mobility problems. How do we resolve mobility problems? It's very simple. You look at every joint and you think about what are all the ways in which it can move. And we need to move those joints in all the possible ways as often as possible. It's that simple. Let's think about how does a child learn multiplication tables, right? It doesn't practice multiplication tables one day in a week. It practices every single day, right? And then the brain learns, hey, 3 times 2 is 6. You just remember it. 6 times 3, 18. You don't have to think, you don't have to calculate. Your body just knows, your brain just knows. It is the same with movement. Movement is learned by repetition. Mobility is nothing but movement. If you want to be able to move your spine, your shoulders, your hips, your feet, your ankles, your wrists, fingers, whatever it is, you need to move it in all the possible ways in which it can move as often as possible. This is a very big thing which will keep you pain free. The second thing which I want to tell is about the stamina or endurance. Well, if you think about it, if you want to live long, your heart has to be beating and powerful and working well for a long time, 80 years, 90 years, 100 years, 110 years. Life is an endurance game. Therefore, we really need to take care of endurance in our fitness program, because this is what will help our heart be healthy for those 110 years. How do we take care of endurance? Again, the formula is very simple. Do easy things, do them often over time, improve how much you are doing, and do it for a long time. Let me take an example. Let me say, I will take my own example. So, endurance is all about doing a thing for a long time. So, if you are walking, running, cycling, swimming for 30 minutes, that's an endurance activity. So, now let us say you can do 30 minutes running, and let us say that is the limit of your ability, right? And to do a 30-minute run is challenging. I'm just taking an example. How should you plan your endurance training in your fitness regimen? Just think about doing as often as possible, but do not go to your limit. What is as often as possible? Doing something every day. Don't go to the limit. What does that mean? Let's try to take something like 40 to 50% of our limit. If my limit is 30 minutes walk, I will try to walk every day. First of all, I will make sure that I have a walking habit every day. I make sure that every time I walk, I will do about 40 to 50% of my limit, which is somewhere around 15 minutes, right? And then over time, let's say over 1 month, 2 months, I will try to take my daily walk from 15 minutes gradually to 20 minutes to 25 minutes until I'm walking 30 minutes every day, right? And then slowly I will make it a little bit harder. Here and there, I will add 1 or 2 minutes of running in that 30 minutes of walking. So basically, the formula is you need to make your body feel like this is trivial to do. If you can convince your body that this is not stressful, it will adapt to it and it will make the fitness adjustment. Whereas if we do the opposite, if we run at our limit every day, it is a lot of stress. Your body has to spend resources to deal with it. And every day, it is like you put money in your account and at the end of the day, you take all of it out. Tomorrow, you deposit 100 rupees again. By the end of the day, you take out 100 rupees again. All the time in your account, you have zero. What we want to do is here and there put 5 rupees, 10 rupees. Okay, once in a while, we take out 20 rupees. So over time, we want our account to grow, right? And this is the way to do it. A similar strategy works with strength. Strength is all about doing very hard things. So if I translate my 30-minute run example to strength, let me say I can lift something like 20 kilos, and that is the limit. What I will try to do is something like lifting about 40 to 50%, but I do it often. Something like 8, 10 kilos. And I do it, try to do it as often as possible, 4 days a week, 5 days a week. But I do not exhaust myself. And over a period of time, we can see that our 10 kilos will move up. Our 20 kilo limit will move up. It will move up to 22, 25, and so on. But we are doing it in such a way that we are not exhausting ourselves. So these are some of the things which I wanted to share with you. Please keep in mind that these are some general considerations which I'm trying to simplify, which are applicable to majority of the people, majority of the time, right? And individual considerations vary depending on background, depending on your history, medical history, training history, your age, maybe your injury history, etc. And this is where the value of a coach comes in, right? So the fitness coaches, they are professionals in this domain. They are the ones who are capable of helping you translate these general considerations into what is applicable for you. I am trying to give everybody a starting point. There's plenty of people who are doing this. Please use the resources which are applicable to you. Please take it as a responsibility to educate yourself and your children. Our next generation should be better than us. And I'm trying to do my part in that. I wish you all good luck in your journey. I would like to thank the host for having me here for this and giving me an opportunity to share my views. Thank you so much.
Vishwas, you've said thank you so much, but man, I want to hear a lot more from you. What a session! It was absolutely terrific to hear these ideas from you. I really want to give you a round of applause there, Vishwas. Let's do that. Let's give it to him. An absolutely amazing session, Vishwas. I was taking my notes and I loved when you shared those gold nuggets in between. Friends, let me know in the chat box. How was the session? It was short. I'm sure all of us wanted to hear more from him. We felt like it should be at least a 3-hour session when Vishwas was sharing his ideas. Let me know in the chat box. It's going to be great. Vishwas, many questions for you. Are you ready?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Shoot.
Question number 1. Well, I'm sure everybody loved the session. I loved it. I was looking at my teammates. I was like, "Are nahi abhi Vishwas ko aur sunna hai." But I'm sure we're going to be we'll have many more such sessions together, Vishwas. I really want to thank you and see the comments flowing in. Everybody just loved it, and I really want to thank you for the session. Vishwas, protein ki aapne baat ki. You said something about protein. You said
yes.
You said measure your body weight,
Yeah.
multiply it by 1.5, 1.5, or 2, and that's the amount of protein that one should intake. Divide that by 3, and then breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yes.
What to eat is something that I want to hear from you. For people who eat non-veg and people who do not take non-veg, please suggest.
Fair enough. So this is always a difficult question because dietary preferences are very individual. The other thing is that lots of people have food allergies, right?
Yeah.
So this is one of the reasons why we need to experiment, take ourselves as an experiment and try to find out what works for us. But let me try to answer your question in a general way. In general, we need, so when I say protein is made of amino acids and we need many different amino acids. So when we say a food has protein, it may not have all the amino acids we need. So first guideline is try to include foods. Don't eat the same thing all the time. Include a variety of different foods. Okay. And it doesn't matter whether you're non-vegetarian or vegetarian. Try to add. So if you do a simple Google search, protein rich foods, you will find so many options. I will give you some examples. Eggs are great. Milk products are great. Cheese is great, right? Paneer is great. Um, any kind of meat is good, like poultry is good, fish is good, etc. For the pure vegans, it gets a little bit harder. One guideline which I would like to tell is we have the protein powders available and they are good and they can help to match these this thing, but let us not try to get caught up with these numbers. What I would like to encourage people to do is, maybe you are consuming only 20 grams in a day. Try to make that 20 into 30 in a day. Then over time, make that 30 into 40. Then you've gone from 20 to 40. You're getting twice as much as you used to do before. Don't worry about how can I take my 20 to 100 grams. Don't worry about that. Just add protein sources like eggs, paneer, any kind of meat, beans, peas, right? All kinds of these things. Make sure you eat it first. Does that help?
That's the answer. I'm sure
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
It does
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah.
Which was
Yeah.
many more questions and specifically related to how you do it, right? So
Yeah.
so exercise, gym or home. When we talk about Vishwas, do you
Yeah.
prefer to get a gym? The subscription, the membership, and hit the gym every day, or do you like to do your stuff at home, Vishwas?
So you know what? The most important thing is whether you do something or not and how long you're doing it, right? Whatever makes you do it for the next 10 years is the best thing for you. If that
Because
is
there are
like,
a
if
lot
you're
of
the kind
people.
of guy who wants to be with people and music in a gym, then you should go to a gym. If you don't like crowds, you want to be by yourself, do it at home. If what works for you is the right thing.
True. Because why I asked is a lot of people, this is the most difficult part. Although I think you beautifully answered that question. The problem is getting out of the bed. The problem is the thinking part. Yeah. When you wake up in the morning, the picture that you have in the mind is like a man who's going to go out there and work out, sweat it out there. And that's a tough part. But I think you really answered it in a beautiful manner. You said, you don't think about that. The only thing that you say is, how about just wearing those jogging shoes? How about that? Yeah. And we'll see how it goes from there on. I think I loved when you said that. That was the moment of the day for me. And so why not? Let me just try wearing that shoe and let's see. And then you're like, let me just go out and let's see if I feel like working out and all. Let's see. So let's say you take 5 rounds of your society every day. And you're like, I don't feel like going out or taking 5 rounds. No problem. How about just hitting the ground floor? Get in the lift, hit the ground floor. Let's see.
Exactly.
If it is like it, will come back.
This is something I've heard consistently from everybody. Sometimes the best workouts are when you feel the worst. You won't feel like you can do it at all, but you just go there and show up and you'll find that your body just performs.
I completely agree with that. Yeah. Vishwas, any other suggestions for habit formation? Any other gold nuggets that you want to share? Sometimes we don't, to develop those habits, healthy lifestyle habits. Any other suggestion to develop some habits?
Oh, yeah. So I love books, right? I mean, we are in this, we know each other through books. So I read a lot. Okay. So I read a lot of stuff about behavioral psychology, cognitive behavioral therapy, etc. But maybe it's not what the audience is looking for. So I will just share instead. For me personally, one thing which really hits home is reading biographies of athletes or reading books about military personnel, how military personnel train, because maybe it is policemen, maybe it is emergency fire personnel, maybe it is soldiers, right? Because these guys, for them, performance is part of survival and part of the job. They have to do it. How do they do it, right? And when you see some of the incredible things that people do, do we have time? Can I share a quick story?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
So, I'm a kettlebell sport athlete. And when I met the coach who introduced me to kettlebell, so he's from Pune. He's called Mr. Parag Maitre. Look him up. He came to Bangalore to do a session. And, the session was due to start at like 10 a.m. And at 9:30, I got a call saying, bro, my bus is broken down. I'm stuck on the highway. We will still do the session, but we will start after lunch. Give me time to reach Bangalore. I said, okay, it was fine for me. Okay. So I went there at after lunch. We started, and he has come there. He's not had breakfast. He's not had a shower. He's not managed to, he was in the broken down bus. But as soon as he reached there, he started the session. That's commitment, right? And
Mhm.
then the session finished around 7 p.m. And
Mhm.
then he's like, days. I was like, oh God, days done. I'm ready to sleep for 1 week.
Mhm.
Then he started warming up. Okay, I'm like, well, boss, it's 8:30 p.m. What are you doing? I'm
Mhm.
warming up. I haven't done my training. No
Mhm.
breakfast, no lunch. He's spent a full day training us. He's come
Mhm.
from out of station. He has not
Mhm.
found a hotel. Okay, and
Mhm.
then after his training, he wanted to do his running session.
Mhm.
Outside there's a road full of traffic. Okay, and
Mhm.
then he's not from Bangalore, no, so he asked the gym owner, where can I run? There were no
Mhm.
treadmills in that, it was a lifting kind of gym. Okay, so he said, like, there's traffic outside and it's dark. Oh, there's a railway track. At 9 p.m he started running in the dark on a railway track after all this. And you see people doing this kind of stuff, and these are the things which personally drive me. That guy can do it. I can do more than I think I can right now. Like, whatever stopping me is trivial. So this is just one, okay? And when you start looking for such stories, you'll find dozens.
I think
Today,
that
yeah, yeah,
was,
yeah,
yeah, that was amazing. That was really
yeah,
inspiring indeed.
yeah,
So
yeah,
whatever it's stopping me is trivial. Everybody,
yeah,
just recap this line in your mind. Everything that's stopping you is trivial, because when you actually read those autobiographies or the stories of people who have achieved something in their life, especially athletes, trainers, sports people, you will really see what is it that they do to achieve what they've achieved and to keep themselves healthy, fit, stamina. You talked about strength, you talked about stamina, you talked about mobility. And if you see those people, what is it that they're doing to keep all of this in place? It's actually incredible. Which was, I also really liked this mobility point that you made. You said the purpose is to move all your joints.
yes,
And I was just thinking, all the yoga poses that I do when I sit down to do my yoga
yeah,
isn't that's exactly what I'm doing. Yeah. I
right,
think I think that's exactly what I'm doing. They're trying to move all my joints. And I was just thinking, and I was like, man, aside scientifically, it makes sense to me. And I really liked it when you shared that. Which was a lot of times, this sleep thing.
yeah,
Sleep thing has a bit of an issue for a lot of people.
hmm,
Working, yeah, they're working till late. They have to get up early, and a lot of stuff. Do you recommend catching up some sleep during the day?
sure. If you have time, I think it's definitely helpful. Adding 20, 30 minutes here and there will make a big difference. But that is like an emergency tactic, right? You couldn't sleep last night. Try to get a nap today if possible. But don't base your lifestyle on saying, I'm only going to get sleep 6 hours every night because I'm planning to nap tomorrow. So if necessary, add a nap. It won't hurt. But this is a not so easy. Yeah, it's hard. And but what I have found is, unless you're a new parent, usually you can find a way to improve your lifestyle so that you can get better sleep. Stop the Netflix binges. Okay,
Yeah,
if and the other thing is, when food habits improve, when movement habits improve, the quality of sleep, these things, they are all connected. The
yeah.
one thing which I can tell is, if you're a new parent, then good luck, because I don't have any good advice. Yeah.
I mean,
Tough luck.
I'm
Yeah.
glad. Yeah, I'm glad
Yeah.
that you made an exception for new
Yeah.
parents,
Yeah.
uh, because it's not easy. It's not
It's
easy for
not at
new
all.
parents.
Not easy.
It's
Yeah.
not at all. Yeah. Which
Yeah.
was a lot of people. They have
Yeah.
these smart watches. They have these smart watches wrapped around their wrist,
Yeah.
and the only thing that they have their eyes on is the 10K steps a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you a big fan of this thing? Do you think it's I mean, is this like all that we need to do? Walk 10 steps, 10,000 steps, sorry,
Yeah.
daily, and that's pretty much it. You're good to go. What's your take on the
Okay.
10K steps?
So 10K is really just a proxy for how long you spend to get those steps, right? Because
Mhm.
for me personally, I do 7,000 steps in 1 hour. So to do 10K, I should be on my feet for like 75, 80 minutes, right? So that is simply endurance work. For some people, it helps to give a motivate. Yesterday, I did 8K. Today, let me try for 8.5K. If you are that kind of guy, it helps. But there is no magic in the number itself. The 10 itself, there is no magic. So what I will tell is there is magic in 30 minutes of continuous movement. 30
So the
minutes or
real
more.
magic you're saying is in continuous movement for 30 minutes.
The heart has to be working, not too hard, but harder than, it should be, to give numbers, right? So it should be working somewhere around, let us say, somewhere around 120 to 140 beats per minute continuously, like this, not like up and down, not spiking. Okay. For 30 minutes minimum, continuously. Now, maybe if you are fit, you need to run fast to get your heart rate up. If you're not fit, when you walk, your heart rate is already there. The magic is in exerting to that extent for 30 minutes or more. That's where the physiological benefit comes from.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
My last question,
Yeah.
Vishwas, you said you're from IT background, and you also touched upon the working habits, working for long hours, a lot of pretty demanding profession. I think every profession is demanding nowadays. So when people are busy, when they have to sit in front of their systems almost all day, any suggestions for working people, people who are working from home, when they have to work for long hours, sit in front of their systems for long hours? Although we had a session the other day on desk yoga, move a little bit, do some stretches and stuff. Any suggestion from your side for people who are working professionals and listening to us right now?
For sure, yes. So that's a great question. So you know what I personally do? So we are working from home, right, for the last couple of years. I installed a pull-up bar outside my home office. Whenever I get up to drink water, I have to do a pull-up. Okay, so I can do about 12 pull-ups at a stretch. So doing one pull-up is trivial. So what I'm saying is, you find that thing which is trivial for you to do, but which still makes some progress towards your goal, right? For me, I'm taking pull-up as an example. Maybe it is like if you have a mobility restriction, right? So doing things like crawling on the floor, or getting from standing to lying down on the ground to getting back up without using your hands, let us say. Things like this will improve strength, mobility, etc. They will get you some movement, get some blood flowing, right? And it feels like play. You don't have to think like, I have to do 5 minutes of desk yoga because I did 30 minutes of work. Now, if you're the kind of guy where the routine helps, by all means, go for it. If you're the kind of guy that gets put off by I have to, then convert it into play.
Interesting.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
That was interesting. I loved it. I mean, I'm just thinking of keeping a bar there so that I can do my pull-ups the moment I get out of this room. That's a good idea, Vishwas. I'm sure you have many more such ideas up your sleeves, and I look forward to hear all those ideas in the near future. But Vishwas, for now, I think it was an absolutely interesting, amazing, insightful, full of knowledge, practical ideas session that you did for us. And as everybody agree with me in the chat box, I really want to thank you once again, Vishwas, for taking your time out and sharing these ideas with the audience. Any last words from your side, Vishwas, before you?
I just want to say thanks to you for having the vision to do this, your team for putting it together, and I want to say thanks to God for whatever circumstances. And my intention is, why I agreed to do this session is because I am on a mission to share this, right? But all my journey throughout my life has led me to this moment where I have had the opportunity to learn something, and I had an opportunity, hopefully, to be of help to somebody else. For this, I'd like to thank God and my parents.
Absolutely amazing. And I really hope that you also see your grandkids and all of us see them together. Thank you so much, Vishwas. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you all.
friends. That was Vishwas. And I love the session. I have to admit it. I really loved the way he spoke. Crisp, concise, and he shared all that my ears wanted to hear, and all of us, isn't it? I've observed whenever there is a topic related to health, I see people paying more attention. I see people may not necessarily be taking action, But I really have observed, because we do these sessions and the data shows us that people are interested, because it's a topic that they're interested in. Yes or no? You were listening to him keenly. You were like, और क्या कहता है, और क्या कहते हैं, health के बारे में है, exercise के बारे में, water, your food, your nutrition, your stamina, your strength, your mobility, and whatnot. I really liked it. Yeah. And as I said, I absolutely love this idea. All of you should give it a try. Absolutely love this idea, which is like, I really loved it. He said, don't just, let's say your mind, it tries to convince you not to do something that you think you got to do. So just try to just say, okay, let's not do it. How about just let's say you have to eat a fruit and you don't feel like eating it. So you say, how about just opening the door of the fridge, taking the fruit out, and we'll keep it back again. We'll not eat it. I mean, I loved it, man. I would just contemplate, thinking, where all I can just apply it. Yeah, I absolutely enjoyed the conversation. I'm sure all of you did that. This is what the Superpower Success Summit is all about. I genuinely, sincerely hope, dosto, ye sessions aapke kaam aa rahe hain. Ye sessions is bringing this change in your life, your lifestyle. I sincerely hope that you're enjoying every single session in the Superpower Success Summit. I sincerely hope that you're able to deliver this value. All of us, me, my team, every single speaker who is agreeing to come here, come in these sessions, put aside their work, come here for free to share these ideas with you. These ideas, it's helping them change their lives and the lives of their mentees, their clients. And here's an opportunity for all of you through this summit to transform your life as well. Okay? Implement these ideas, put them into action. Knowledge without action is what? You know it better. So my suggestion, put them into action. Yeah. Apni health ko priority par rakhiye, ye ideas ko implement kariye. And I also suggest, research says that we forget 80% of what we learn within 24 hours. We forget 80% of what we learn within 24 hours. The only way to beat it is to refresh, to go back and check it again, to revise it, to recap it. The recordings are there for you. The moment you end the session next day, I recommend that you go through the recording of the sessions on YouTube, on the same channel. Hit the subscribe button right away. Because that way you're going to, all right, this is up on my feeds, and they'll be like, I need to watch it again. Go watch it. And once you watch it, you will remember these ideas for a long time. Repetition is the key. And once your subconscious absorbs it, then there won't be a problem. Okay? That's my suggestion for all of you. Well, with this, I hope that all of you enjoyed day 21 of the Superpower Success Summit. And I sincerely hope that all of you are taking these ideas, putting them into action, sharing it with people around you. I really want to thank you for choosing to be a part of this session. And now the stage is set for day 22. We're going to be meeting tomorrow, 7 p.m. Yet another topic, yet another expert will be waiting for you. Don't forget to join in 7 p.m. tomorrow. This is Nitin Soni saying thank you so much. Take care.
Let me call upon stage Nitin Soni.
Louder, louder, louder. Come on, louder.
Dosto, success in any field is 70% psychology and 30% mechanics. Kisi bhi field mein, in whatever field you choose, success is all about 70% psychology and 30% mechanics.
मैं आपसे पूछना चाहता हूँ, विराट कोहली ने सेंचुरी मारी थी क्या डेब्यू? अच्छा, सचिन तेंदुलकर ने मारी थी? अच्छा, धोनी ने मारी थी? But all of these three individuals are legends, in spite of the fact that they did not score century on debut. Even if you are not able to score century on debut, you can still become a legend if you take few things right. Understand this.
Why do you want to become what you want to become? Why do you want to get that success? Why do you want to get that degree? Why do you want to become a rank holder? Why do you want it? Answer your why.
They are compromising on their potential. You have amazing potential in you. Why do you want to restrict it? You're not supposed to restrict your potential. Warren Buffett has 97 different streams of income. 97. And the day I realized, the day I noticed it, I said, 97, what the hell?
What is the difference? The difference is in their psychology. That's where the entire difference lies. That's the main thing. You need to understand your psychology, your mindset. Usme kya chal raha hai? That's what you need to focus.
Excellent. And I knew I would be the top scorer in the institute. And that's exactly what I did. Each and every paper that I gave, when I came back home, I said, I'm ready for the next one. And I did that. Ready for the next one. Did that. Then I waited for my results. And on the results day, what did happen? I failed. What is it that I can do now? At the best I can study. At the best I can put in the hard work. At the best I can do whatever is possible for me to do. What else can I do?
He actually looked at the big portrait of Mount Everest and he said, Mount Everest, I know you are failing me. But the more and more you fail me, the more and more I'm getting determined that one day I'm going to stand on top of you. Do you know why, Sir Edmund Hillary said? He said, do you know why? Because you, even as Mount Everest, cannot grow any further. But I, as a human being, will keep growing. That's my message to you. Keep growing. No matter what Mount Everest you want to climb in your life, you can. If you have the right mindset and if you do not let your fingers enter your mind, God, because it's your responsibility, friends. It's your responsibility. Nobody else is going to work hard for you. Nobody else is going to bring your dream in a silver plate and say, hey, here is your dream, enjoy. No, that's never going to happen. You will have to work hard. You will have to put in the hard work. You will have to burn the midnight oil. You will have to make your dream come true. The responsibility is yours. I cannot do your push-ups for you, can I? Can I? Of course not. You will have to do your push-ups.
What do? You notice that you are not the only one who is watching that dream. You are not the only one having that dream inside you. When there are 1,000 other mothers who are having the same dream for their sons, what do you do to make the dream of your mother come true? You outwork your competition. You outwork your competition. You get up early. You work harder. You stay longer. You do whatever it takes. You got to overwork. You got to outwork. You got to outsmart everybody else. Because if you don't do it, someone else is going to do it. If you don't do it, someone else is going to do it. If you are not getting up early, someone else is getting up early. And he is going to grab your position. He's going to grab your position. Understand this. You got to outwork your competition. If it means doing anything that you have not done till date, you should be interested in doing it. Learning techniques, learning facts, programming your subconscious, whatever it may be. Be ready to outwork your competition.
My intensity multiplied. My hunger multiplied. My seriousness multiplied. I prepared like hell. I was actually doing things that nobody around me was doing. I was studying for 12 hours a day and I said, no matter what happens on the results day, I'm going to give my best shot in this attempt. I studied like anything. And I did all those test papers, working, studying over and over and over again. I revised over and over and over again. And I gave my exams to the best of my ability. And on the results day, the screen said, pass.
Unless and until you answer your whys, you will not be able to remain motivated. You need motivation? Answer your whys. Answer your whys. Why do you want to do what you want to do? Is it because of your father? You want to make your father's dream come true? Is it because of your mother? Your mother is looking a dream for you and you want to make her dream come true? Is it because of your siblings, your brother, your sister, your other family members? Or is it probably because yourself? You say, I want to become rich because I want to prove to the world that I am a rich person and I am not a poor person. You got to answer your whys. Why do you want to become what you want to become? Answer your whys. Because this is exactly where motivation lies. What are you waiting for? Whatever it takes. Even if it takes for you to learn something, learn it. If it takes for you to work hard, work hard. If it takes for you to get up early in the morning, get up early in the morning. If it takes for you to work in and day out, do it. He was a world heavyweight champion in boxing, Mike Tyson. डरते थे लोग उसके नाम से. और Mike Tyson won 37 fights back to back. अपनी लाइफ की पहली फाइट से लेकर 37 फाइट्स तक माइक टाइसन हर एक फाइट जीतता गया. एक भी फाइट वो नहीं हारा. और पीपल यूज्ड टू स्वेट बाय हिज नेम. डरते थे लोग उसके नाम से. 37 फाइट लगातार जीतना इज नो गेम. and he was the world heavyweight champion. 37 फाइट लगातार जीतने के बाद जो 38वीं फाइट उसकी थी वो थी अगेंस्ट जेम्स बस्टिन डगलस. और ये जेम्स बस्टिन डगलस कौन था? कुछ भी नहीं, अ नॉर्मल बॉक्सर, वेरी नॉर्मल बॉक्सर. कभी भी अपने लाइफ के अंदर हैवीवेट चैंपियन नहीं बना, कभी भी उसने कोई बहुत बड़ी चैंपियनशिप नहीं जीती, वेरी नॉर्मल बॉक्सर. 38th मैच माइक टाइसन का अगेंस्ट जेम्स बस्टिन डगलस. It was a one-sided match. They said Mike Tyson is going to win anyways. सारा मीडिया हैरान, सारी दुनिया हैरान. Mike Tyson lost the match. 38th fight, Mike Tyson lost it. How come? ये कैसे हो सकता है? सारा का सारा मीडिया पागलों की तरह जेम्स बस्टिन डगलस के पीछे. बस्टिन डगलस, ये तुमने किया कैसे? How did it? You just won against Mike Tyson. Impossible. How could you do the impossible? ये किया कैसे तुमने? He said, before this match, my mother declared to the world that her son is going to beat Mike Tyson. She declared it to the world, to the relatives, to the friends, everybody, and she was extremely happy. और जेम्स बस्टिन डगलस ने कहा, माँ क्या कर रहे हो? Why are you doing that? I'm not too sure. She said, you are not sure. I am sure because I believe in my son. My son is going to beat the hell out of Mike Tyson, and my son is going to win. He said, it was my mother's dream that I beat Mike Tyson. It was my mother's dream that I become the world champion. It was my mother's dream that I become a true champion in my life by beating Mike Tyson. And not just Mike Tyson, whoever it may be. And my mother died 2 weeks before this match. He said, my mother died 2 weeks before this match. And I wanted to make her dream come true. He said, I wanted to make her dream come true. माइक टाइसन के अलावा अगर वहां पर 100 माइक टाइसन भी होते, उसके बावजूद मैं ये मैच जीतता. Because it was my mother's dream and I wanted to fulfill my mother's dream.
तो ये सोचता है कि मैं स्पेशल नहीं हूं. अगर यहाँ एक भी सोचता है कि मैं वर्दी नहीं हूं, मेरी रिक्वेस्ट है उससे कि आज की शाम अपने पेरेंट्स के साथ बिता लेना. आज की शाम तन्हाई में अपने पेरेंट्स के साथ बिता लेना और आपकी माँ, आपके पिताजी आपको बताएंगे कि आप कितने स्पेशल हो.
There is nobody in the entire world who has a fingerprint like you. Luck, नसीब. कई मैं से देखता हूं जो अपने नसीब को पकड़ के बैठते हैं, जो ये कहते हैं कि it's only and only because of my luck. If I'm failing, it's only because of my luck. नसीब की वजह से आपकी जिंदगी में कुछ नहीं होता. मगर दो तरह के लोग हैं, बिलीव करते हैं नसीब, कुछ बिलीव नहीं करते नसीब के ऊपर. आप मुझे एक बात बताओ, अगर आपकी नसीब की वजह से ही सब कुछ होता है, अगर आपके लक की वजह से ही सब कुछ ये हो रहा है, तो मेहनत क्यों कर रहे हो? मेहनत करने की क्या जरूरत है? और अगर नसीब में नहीं लिखा तो मेहनत करके क्या उखाड़ लोगे? क्या उखाड़ लोगे? नसीब को लेकर के मत बैठो. जब आप अपने नसीब को देख करके कहते हो कि भाई कभी ना कभी तो चमकेगा, आपका नसीब आपको देख करके कहता है कभी तो समझेगा. आप नहीं समझते.
You command respect, power, recognition, social status, everything. It has amazing power. I'm the king of the jungle now. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy.